Maximum overload training, better known as MaxOT, was developed by Paul Delia, and it rose to prominence when its two greatest proponents, Skip LaCour and Jeff Willett, won the NPC/IFBB Team Universe in 2002, LaCour, and 2003, Willett. The two words most associated with MaxOT are heavy and brief. Let's take a look at the key principles of MaxOT. MaxOT training involves maximum muscle fiber stimulation and overload in a minimum amount of time. To accomplish this, adjustments must be made to achieve these objectives within the desired optimal time parameter. Training one major muscle group per workout is paramount to the MaxOT principles as it optimizes key physiological and psychological high points designed to extract the greatest effect from your training. Every time you train the MaxOT way, you leave the gym fully confident that you performed a workout that will result in muscle growth. The MaxOT one body part per day principle takes advantage of the duration of maximum intensity that occurs both physically and mentally when you train. By pre-establishing in your mind that you will only be training one muscle group, you can generate much greater mental focus and intensity. This psychological edge directly and favorably impacts physical intensity output. Bottom line, you train each muscle group much harder, achieve greater muscle fiber contraction, greater overload, and spark more muscle growth by establishing 100% physical intensity and 100% mental focus. 6 to 9 sets. For each muscle group you train, MaxOT principles stipulate between 6 and 9 total heavy sets. That's total heavy sets. No matter how many exercises you do, you will only do between 6 and 9 total heavy sets per muscle group. What's a MaxOT heavy set? A MaxOT heavy set is a set done with a weight that will allow at least 4 reps, but no more than 6 reps. This is very important and fundamental. What's a MaxOT set? A MaxOT set is a set performed to positive failure with a heavy weight for 4 to 6 reps. In other words, a warm-up set is not a MaxOT set. It is a warm-up set and that's it. So don't count your warm-up sets as part of your 6 to 9 sets per body part. This is important. What's positive failure? Positive failure is when a set is performed to the positive limit of muscle exhaustion. In other words, you are done with a set when you are no longer able to complete a rep on your own. Positive failure should occur between the 4th and 6th rep. MaxOT does not employ forced reps beyond maybe partial help on the last rep of a set. Contrary to what most have been led to believe, forced reps are counterproductive to building muscle. They artificially fatigue the muscle, deplete muscle energy stores, and produce non-progressive overload, just to name a few. How many times have you seen people in the gym training and one guy spotting another and yelling in his face to do 2 more reps when he really should have stopped 2 reps ago? Do not do forced reps. This is the heart of MaxOT. You will do 4 to 6 reps on virtually all lifts. There will be some lifts that you will do a little more reps on, but only a few. The 4 to 6 rep range is important and critical to your success of MaxOT. We will go deeper into the understanding of this further in the course, but for right now you need to ingrain this 4 to 6 reps into your mind. What is meant by 4 to 6? When I say to do between 4 and 6 reps, this means that you will use a weight that is light enough to allow you to get at least 4 reps, but is also heavy enough to where you cannot do any more than 6 reps. If you can't do 4 reps, then the weight is too heavy. If you can do more than 6 reps, then the weight is too light. This is important and is a critical component of MaxOT. 4 to 6 reps is the ideal rep scheme for building muscle. It allows maximum muscle fiber overload, maximum muscle fiber recruitment, and optimal volume for maximum growth stimulation. Intensity. A big advantage aside from the physiological benefits is that it's much easier to mentally focus your energy on a set of 4 to 6 reps than it is on a set of 10 to 12 reps. Knowing that your set will be short and intense will allow you to generate maximum mental intensity, maximum muscle contraction, and maximum muscular force. Max OT, in itself, is a more productive muscle building approach that acts synergistically with each technique, component, and principle to exponentially accelerate your results. Once you understand that lifting with a heavy amount of weight is the most potent stimulus for muscle growth, you will continue to strive for greater overload. You will continue to get bigger and stronger in less time. Max OT, as its name inspires, is all about maximum intensity and maximum overload for maximum results. Building on the principle of lifting with maximum intensity and overload for 4 to 6 reps between set recovery is very important. I call this short-term recovery, STR. As you perform reps with heavy weight, many physiological reactions are taking place to make all this happen. Muscle contraction takes cellular energy, oxygen, chemical reactions within the cells, and a host of other molecular activities. As each rep is performed, you deplete your muscle's capacity to contract with the same force as with the first rep. By the time you get to the 5th rep, you have tapped out your muscle intracellular energy capacity. This is max OT. It's pushing a muscle to this extreme, overload not fatigue, that produces results. Recovery between sets allows you to repeat this process until enough overload volume has been performed to stimulate and force new muscle growth. The idea of maximum recovery between sets is to maximize your muscle's ability to lift maximum weight during the next set. Notice the word maximum used a lot here. Between set recovery should last about 2 to 3 minutes. This amount of time allows the muscle to recover its intracellular energy stores and flush any lactate out of the muscle that's hanging around from the previous set to restore its anaerobic capacity. Now, between set recovery will vary between individuals. Some people just recover much faster than others. As I pointed out earlier, you want to strive for is the recovery that will allow you to lift the maximum amount of weight for your next set. For some this is 90 seconds, for others, it's the entire 3 minutes, sometimes even longer. It's important to be fully recovered before your next set because your ability to maximize the overload on the muscle will directly reflect in the muscle growth it produces. This critical between set recovery phase, STR, is exactly why max OT does not incorporate supersets, pre-exhaustion, or other fatigue-generating techniques. We'll get deeper into this later, but realize right now that fatigue does not build muscle, overload builds muscle. Fatigue simply fatigues. Once a muscle is fatigued, it can't be properly overloaded. Never let fatigue hinder overload. Here we go from short-term, between-set muscle recovery, STR, to muscle-specific recovery, MSR, the recovery between training sessions of the same muscle group. Example, the time between one leg workout until your next leg workout. This recovery is very, very important and one of the major components responsible for maximizing the muscle growth process. Recovery. How many times have you heard this word? Do you understand what it means and what impact it has on muscle growth? I can answer that with one word: everything. Complete recovery of each muscle group after a max OT training session before the same muscle group is subjected to overload again is of equal importance to the overall results as the actual training itself. Recuperation is everything. There are many things you can do to enhance recovery. Nutritional advances have made this a no-brainer and almost foolproof process. We will get into that in greater detail later. Right now we are primarily concerned with the time between workouts to allow for full muscle recovery. Most training programs have you training way too often. This habit is hard to break. Building muscle is an excess endeavor. You always want more. This being a major motivation, it's against normal thought to do less to get more. The muscle growth process does not occur in the gym. Let me repeat, muscle growth does not occur in the gym. Muscle growth occurs during the recovery period, the critical time between workouts of the same muscle groups. As a result of overload, the muscle must adapt to compensate for future overload. The recovery period is the time when muscle is recuperating, growing, and becoming stronger in preparation for more overload, adapting. If a muscle is not allowed to fully recover between workouts, muscle growth will be impeded, overtraining will occur, and muscle breakdown will be inevitable. You will become stagnated. Muscle mass and strength will more than likely decrease. Energy levels will dwindle, appetite will lessen, and motivation will disappear. Most lifters confuse fatigue with overload. This will take some logical thinking on your part to separate the two, again because of all the misinformation published in the magazines. Things like "feel the burn" are not what building muscle is about. Make no mistake about it. Max OT is a brutal form of training. It's heavy. It's intense. It's result-producing. It encompasses a total approach. It's not just the training part of the equation. It's the mental approach, the nutritional approach, the timing aspect, the exercise techniques all rolled into one. Understand that muscle growth and strength enhancement doesn't happen by accident. All in all, muscles beyond maturity do not want to grow. You must force a muscle to grow. Muscles must be subjected to a stimulus that compels it to adapt and grow. There must be a reason for a muscle to grow or it won't. And, the more effectively you nurture this growth, the greater the results you will experience. As I discussed earlier, recuperation is of vital importance to muscle growth. Recuperation will determine how well your muscles respond to max OT training. There are 4 important time spans of recuperation. Short-term recuperation, STR, between sets during a workout. Intermediate-term recuperation, ITR, between workouts. Muscle-specific recuperation, MSR, between workouts of the same muscle group. Cyclical recuperation, CR, between max OT training cycles. Taking a week off from training every 8 to 10 weeks is very important for overall recuperation and muscle growth. Many people have a psychological barrier to taking time off from training. They feel like they are going to shrink. Not so. In fact, with max OT, after your week off for CR, you will usually come back bigger and stronger. This week off allows your body to repair and grow. You are recovering from 8 or 10 straight weeks of heavy training. Fed properly, your body during this CR phase will be in a very high anabolic state. Muscle growth and repair will be constant 24 hours a day. One very important thing, well, actually 2. Do not do any strenuous aerobic or anaerobic activity during this week. You don't have to be a slug, but refrain from any exhausting or physically taxing activities. This is a recuperation week that is a key element in max OT. Also, you should consume plenty of lean protein during this CR as well. When you take a week off from training, you still need to eat and supplement properly for growth to occur. In fact, is vitally important during this phase. This was a quick look at max OT training. What follows is a sample max OT routine. For the complete training program, check the link in the description. Thanks for watching and catch you on the next one.